Live. The August 14th, 2015 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and a special hello to Alexis for joining us for the first
Special
time.
guest star.
Hello, and everybody, good morning.
Yes, we just the dog got out. So if I look a little flushed,
Oh my goodness.
He lost his tags.
yeah, her.
Hey.
Oh, I know. She lost her tags.
Oh, the dog lost her own tags.
That's right.
That's okay. As long as she came back, we can replace tags.
That's right. But she can't get out again because then.
Does she have a biochip in her?
Yeah. But you know, I've got the rabies. I've got her name tag. Plus, I have the little home again. Like she got down in the marsh. She went swimming. It's on a little whatever this.
What's going on with your pet, the little dog that you're might adopt?
Oh, they're still vetting us.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't believe it takes this long.
Well, I guess they want you to be sure.
Right.
She's gonna have a dog named Maroon.
Yeah. It's
Isn't he cute? Isn't she cute?
I hope we get her. I hope we get her.
I'm sure you will, Sarah. She could not get a better home.
Well, I'm used to dogs I can hug, you know, like good-sized dogs. And this thing, it looked bigger on the internet. And then we went to meet her, and it was like, oh my gosh, she's 10 pounds. It's just like,
That's how big my dog is, 10 pounds.
10 pounds. And I told my husband, I said, oh,
Jenny.
I could get one of those purses with the.
And carry her around.
Carry her around.
Okay, we had a little talk about e-signatures and how to share with clients and what works best. And we also talked a little bit about Aposaurus. What should we start with this today?
What was this? Apertures?
Aposaurus.
You didn't watch this morning, did you?
Saurus? Is this a new kind of
Are you using headphones?
Is there an Aposaurus, like a dinosaur?
Like dinosaur, like T-Rex. This is a brainchild of Stacy Kildall and Seth David. They are going to review apps once a week. Once a month they pick a theme, and then they'll pick 4 apps for the 4 weeks. And they call it Aposaurus. If it gets a good review, they get thumbs up. If they get the dinosaur, they get a T-Rex, and if they get bad reviews, they get a meteor. Like the meteor killed the.
I love the meteor idea.
And this idea came from Stacy's daughter. The children in this group have such wonderful ideas. It is so cute. So that's what we were talking about this morning. I think the first one starts the beginning of September. I don't know the exact date. So that's what you were talking about, Dennis, when you said Aposaurus, a new word. You have a new word in our vocabulary.
Yeah, he was just talking about some different forum in case Google Hangouts sort of goes off in a ditch.
Like it looks like it might be. I mean, 2.5 years into it, and we still have a hard time.
I wouldn't exactly call this a functioning, you know.
I had 3 different invites, and I could see your faces, but I was having a heck of a time.
And poor Dwayne.
I just
out again.
He says that link that you gave him kicked him out.
Well, I finally got the right one, so I don't know what I did.
Okay, well, we're going to try this again. Dwayne, we really would like you to join us. Okay.
You guys down here.
All righty. So the other thing, Linda, do you want to talk about what you discovered? You just got off of...
There's a new program which is now part of the Citrix suite, and it's called Right Signature.
and you can view it over at writesignature.com. It's kind of the big player in that field is DocuSign.
Mm-hmm.
But this Right Signature is much better for CPAs and tax preparers and that, because you can actually get 3 and 4 signatures on the same document. You can sequence the signatures. Now,
That's the one that works with the ShareFile.
it does work with ShareFile, yes. Yeah, you can
Okay, you there?
file. They
Hey,
get
Dwayne.
things together.
Oh, hold on a minute.
It depends on how many people in your office are going to be sending out these files for signatures. If you need 1 to 3 users to do it, it's $75 a month.
Hold on a minute.
That'd be good for law firm.
I'm going to mute you, Dwayne. I think Dwayne is on a phone call.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Well, so it sounds like it's great for attorneys.
It would be very good for attorneys. If you get lots of signatures. He was saying a lot of CPAs and tax preparers do 4,000 to 5,000 returns a year. I didn't know. I don't do any, so it's a great little program for that. But I wouldn't need it because. And the thing is, I thought it would be perfect for an attorney, or it works really well. I find all the Citrix programs work really well. But then Gina was saying that Adobe does it too. I think Adobe probably does do it. I wonder if Adobe does it in a way that meets the IRS requirements. For encryption and all that.
Adobe doesn't do your actual signature. It might if you.
What do you use there?
Adobe. But it'll write my name and then certify it. It doesn't.
Adobe will.
Yeah.
Got it.
But see, I haven't really played with it. There may be a way that I can scan my signature and include that.
Well, he was showing me how you can actually take your mouse and you hold down the left mouse button in the little square where you're supposed to sign your signature, and then you just move the mouse button like the pen over at Stater Brothers or Target or something. You know how you sign on the, and you can do that with your mouse. Sign your signature.
Your signature looks as crazy as it does at Walmart.
So, to me, it looked like a really good program, but I don't know how many people. $75 a month is a lot of money if you're not going to get very many signatures.
Right, it's enterprise level.
Yeah.
It is. It really is enterprise level.
That's a lot of money. It's $75.
And it's enterprise quality also. So,
How much is it for just one person?
it's the same price for one. It's 1 to 3 is the same price.
Oh, that is expensive.
Yeah, that's the lowest. So,
Personal, you can use it. I'm sorry, I asked you a question and then talked.
Sorry. I want to ask some of you, what apps do you use for your business?
Oh gosh, you want a list?
I mean, I was, because I'm reevaluating things, because I look at how much I pay out on apps, memberships every month, and I'm kind of starting to think, well, do I really need this? Do I really use it? I'm just curious if I'm just the only one that.
file.
No, I'm thinking about weeding out mine too, but many of the ones that I use are free. So I've been using SafetyNet for all my QBO clients. That's the backup.
The backup, yeah.
Yes. I have not had to use it to restore files, and really, I don't want to ever have to do that, but if the occasion occurs, I at least have something to fall back on.
Hey, Linda, I was just looking at Right Signature. They've got a personal plan for $14 a month.
Okay, I didn't even, he said if you're a CPA and you want any tax documents signed.
Yeah, this one.
IRS does not. The IRS says you have to be the high level.
Right. So business, it says they may have changed it because it says $49 a month for 5 senders.
Okay.
And
if
brand, you can custom, you can white brand it. You have your own logo and email, request attachments, unlimited documents, 5 senders, 5 reusable templates, and create online forms.
Yeah. Now, if you're interested, he said he will give us a special price where you get the first 3 months for half off.
That's nice.
So I can contact him and maybe ask him, because maybe some of us could use the personal if we're not doing it for tax returns and that. And maybe for your tax returns you actually can use your tax. Does this tax software get e-signatures for you?
I don't know. I don't do taxes. Who does taxes?
Dennis?
And Wayne does taxes as well.
I kind of do it the old-fashioned way. I just have
pen?
people sign, scan in the 8879, have them sign it and fax it back to me or scan it back to the portal.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Okay.
easier for my clients. I mean, rather than trying to get them to screw around with these signatures and all this kind of stuff, it's like.
Yeah, sometimes getting too fancy is.
And even sometimes getting the clients to use a portal is difficult too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I figure I'm doing well if I can use the portal, let alone trying to
Right.
get involved with
know-
signatures and all that kind of stuff.
I use Mac, and there's a feature that I have a little thing that has my signature. So when I have to sign documents, I just get the PDF format and I put that signature on there. And I also have a pad that I could actually sign onto that pad, and it puts it into the PDF, that actual document.
So it's like a little picture that,
I love it. It's so convenient.
Nice, nice. And so you're thinking of ShareFile, Yvette?
Yeah, I'm thinking of going to ShareFile just because, like for instance, my engagement letter and billing authorization forms that I give to my clients, I usually sometimes just have it on Hightail. I send it to them via Hightail because they're very confidential documents. It has their, their payment, how they're going to pay me and everything. And so I want to feel that it's secure, really secure, and I don't know if Hightail is that secure. And I also want it to be user-friendly for the client.
That's actually why I use a lot of things for Dropbox, just because the clients can use it.
No. I just started using Dropbox with the client just because they all had it.
Right,
Dropbox.
exactly.
We had a project to do, about 4 of us, and I thought, well.
Yeah, Dropbox is very convenient. I love the fact that it syncs to all my devices.
And I'm not sending tax returns back and
No,
forth
I think
either.
really sensitive.
And yeah, see, I don't have social security numbers. I don't
credit
have
card numbers or.
credit card numbers. None of that
I
gets
feel
saved there.
with SmartVault, I think they've got pretty good security.
How expensive is SmartVault?
For a pro advisor, you can get, I think it's like 100 gig for $30 a month.
Oh, that's not bad.
They got a special
How
deal
many
for pro.
QuickBooks files? Is it per QuickBooks file, or you're talking about just using it for storage? Or
I use it primarily for storage. I mean, the way I use it is that since I have it, there's a link on my desktop where it actually looks like the files are on my desktop. It's a lot easier to work with it and save it to SmartVault than it is to try to work with it in my portal.
Now that's your files though, but the files that you share with your client, you're using your portal.
Right. I mean, that's what I upload. I upload the tax returns to that. They upload their stuff to me. But as far as me using it, I don't use my portal as a place where I do my work because I just find it's easy using SmartVault as a secure
Keeping
place
things,
to do my work.
Right. I am still not there with HubDoc. I am still not convinced that HubDoc is the way to go. As
What
much
does
as
Hubdoc do? It keeps your documents?
yes, yes. And it supposedly downloads documents from years past, which would be a problem for me. I don't know that I want everything from eternity until now for some clients. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
Has anybody got a couple questions? Does anybody use Maven Link?
No, it
I've
was
heard
way
about
more
it.
than.
They were
Yeah, I
just
looked
leader.
at it.
I think Stacy Kildall was using
Yeah,
it
that's
for
one of
that.
her faves.
Because I recently got a client yesterday, and I'm going to be taking over their bookkeeping. And I guess the bookkeeper the bookkeeping company that they had before would take the time for the employees out of Maven Link to do the payroll on
What is
QuickBooks.
Maven Link anyway? What is it?
It's
Project management account, isn't it?
exactly.
I thought it was, and it does time.
Does time everything.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I've never worked with it, and so I want to learn about it because I'm going to be working with it. The client uses it as a project manager.
Right.
I remember it now.
Just curious.
Yeah, project management software.
So then I'm hoping that the time
It's fun. Programs are different.
Yeah.
synced to QuickBooks Online. Is that what they're using? QuickBooks
No, they're
Online?
using desktop version, and he wants to go to QuickBooks Online because he has Mac. All his
Okay.
computers
Right.
and so the bookkeeping service they're the ones that had it on the desktop, so it was always inconvenient for him if he wanted a copy of it. So now he wants to have access to it. So I recommended if he really wants to go to the cloud, probably QBO, because he doesn't have anything that's really technical. Like he doesn't have an inventory or anything like that, or not even sales tax.
Oh, nice.
Good. Simple.
Nice. That's perfect.
So
I
I
just-
think it integrates with QBO.
I just found a cheap way of converting PDF files to Excel into Word. Adobe has a web service, like $2 a month.
Oh, awesome.
Really?
And I mean, I've got this one project I'm working on where I'm trying to convert PDF files to CSV files so I can upload them in Xero to start, reconciling. And it looks like it'll work where, it gives me the basic information. I've got other ones on the desktop, but I like this one because it's in the cloud, and it isn't as fancy, but it seems to get the job done, at least getting the data out so I could copy it into an Excel file and create a CSV.
Oh, nice. And you said $2 a month, and it's Adobe?
Yeah, it's
That
Adobe.
moves people?
I think it's called Adobe Export or something like that. It's I got this email talking about it. I thought, well, for $2 a month, it was like $26 for the whole year.
Wow.
And I thought,
Wow.
well,
You're going to find uses for it now that you didn't know that you needed.
well, the thing is, you can use it on your cell phone and a tablet as opposed to the other one I'm using is on a desktop.
Now, I'm getting
one
real
minute.
nervous about what I'm using on a tablet because it can be broadcast anywhere. It's less secure.
Why is it any less secure? It's still the Wi-Fi. It's still the internet.
If you're going Wi-Fi,
Doesn't it depend on whether it's your own Wi-Fi in your house or public
if
Wi-Fi?
you're out, right, yeah. See, on my tablet, I come out a lot.
I would use a.
I don't use Wi-Fi. I'll use Verizon if I'm out.
There's
Okay.
there's a MiFi like AT&T. You can get it a little or it's a little what you call device where
Little
you can-
hotspot.
a hotspot. Yeah,
Private
it's like
hotspot.
I think about $20 a month, $20 a month, and I had to use it as a emergency when my modem kind of broke and I had to wait to get a new modem. And so
Right.
I was able to. It was expensive, but I was able to, have a basic connection to the internet.
Nice.
I would
Nice.
recommend it as
Even
a
with those, you want to make sure that your password protected.
yeah.
Yeah, I just went to my sister's house, but I'm thinking about different uses for different devices. You know, I can't get away from a desktop. I really want a desktop, and I want the full keyboard. I want the big monitor.
Two big monitors.
Two big monitors.
I'm
and
faster.
The speed.
I'm just
speed. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes I get tired of working at my desk because I'm always in this office, you know, so I said, okay, I'm going to take my laptop to the yard.
Right.
Try to work. It's not the same.
It's frustrating. I do it all the time.
Laptop. I have a beautiful laptop. It's not my computer with a big screen, and I have total.
Absolutely, absolutely. But laptops have their place. Dennis, like you, when my internet went out, I was able to take my laptop to my sister's house, which has a secure. But see, I didn't want to go to Starbucks or Mickey D's and make tax payments.
No, definitely not. I would imagine scammers probably hang out there too, you know.
And not only that, I'm not one of those people that want to work everywhere, every time, every place. You know, it's like when I leave my home, I want to not work.
Yeah, I think there needs to be some. There needs to be some boundaries, I think.
Yeah.
I just had a little discussion with my IT guy. It started with, he's got, you know, the new, what is it, the iPhone 6 or something.
Okay.
Like that. And what I liked about it, he was on a call, but he could also look up contacts or whatever at the same time.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I can't do that with my Android. He says, well, you can do it, but it's really it's working around.
Well, see, that kind of thing, yeah, I want to do on a tablet. I don't want to do it on my phone. That's why I want a tablet. I'd be mostly on the internet for the tablet. I'd be using the apps, and I am so over apps right now. Apps are, except for T-Sheets and QBox. Okay, we have to put that disclaimer there. T-Sheets is everything an app should be. But the other ones, I find that they're watered-down versions that I just don't have enough control, and I'm over apps at this point.
Well, the other thing is it led into a discussion about the iPad.
Okay.
Saying the good thing with the Apple, with the iPhone originally we were talking about, he said they have a protected workspace for each application, and that's the reason that you can have an application going, and then you get a phone call in, and you can carry on your phone call, and the application doesn't shut down, but it goes into a separate space.
Okay.
And it gives up some of the power to the phone call that you're on.
Right.
With the iPad, it's the same thing. It's much more protected than, I mean, all of them can be hacked, but it's much more protected than Android.
Okay.
Well, Gary, I've had an iPhone since they first came out.
Yeah, I thought you were like the first one to get one in this group.
Yeah, I mean, I have now the iPhone 6, and I just love it. I love Apple devices. They're just
I've waited so long, I might as well wait for September.
Well, you know, I always went with the Google side of things, and I said, oh, you know, I want the Android, and I got a phone that has a battery that has a long life and all of that, and I thought that was great.
Right.
Now I come to find out there's a better cookie around the corner, you know.
It always works that way.
Yeah, and what the nice thing about Apple devices is they all sync together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like I don't have to do anything special to my computer, or to my laptop to get what I have. Like all the bookmarks that I have on my main computer, my iMac, will also show up on my laptop if I wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah. There's so many advantages to owning an Apple product. It's just, I love it. It's really nice.
Outlook, which is Microsoft. Then I have the contact list in Google. Then I have the contact list in the iPad. And they don't like each other, none of them. So I'm going to get rid of the Android, and that'll get me down to 2. And then I found a little tool that'll keep Outlook syncing with Google, and then I found a little app that'll make Google talk with the iPad. It's stupid.
Wow.
Okay, what's the tool that syncs Google?
Oh, yeah, it's la, la, la. 1, 2, 1. They have a whole bunch of free little programs that I love.
Well, I could Google that, couldn't I?
I think it's 1, 2, free. 1, 2, free.
FREE, 1, 2, free.
If I can find it. 1, 2, free. No, that's not it.
It's the SIM card brand in Hong Kong, I think.
Sunny, what are you saying?
It's a SIM card brand.
Can you put it in the chat?
This moment then.
Wait a minute. Oh, you know what? If I open up Outlook, it's one of my add-ins. They've got a free little program. It's so little that if you, by accident, drag a folder and drop it, it will go, are you sure you want to move this folder or this file? So that has saved me a million times because I get going too fast and all of a sudden I've lost a whole client and they're like, they've now become a sub of somebody.
And Sony says it is SIM card brand in Hong Kong. So yeah, at this point my tablet is doing whatever, all the apps and whatever I would do on my phone. And my phone, all I really do is talk and text on it.
Right.
And take pictures.
My phone's kind of replaced my tablet. I've got a Galaxy Note 4.
Okay, so is it the big one?
Yeah, it's.
But my problem is seeing, and that's why I want to keep the tablet. I want a bigger screen. Okay.
It's fairly big, and I can carry it in my pocket, and so I can watch videos, and I've got like a 7-inch tablet, so it's sort of replaced that because it's just a lot easier to, convenient. And then I use my Chromebook for. I'm using my Chromebook as more as like a tablet, actually. I can watch, and I've got it's like about a 12-inch or to 13-inch Chromebook. It's a HP. It's one of the largest screens, and I'm glad I got that. But I can watch movies, and I can watch videos like CES stuff, and it just plays a lot better on a bigger screen for me. And I can watch like the Zero training and that kind of stuff.
I guess I'm sick of sitting in the office doing that, so I just want to go curl up on the sofa or something.
Well, that's what I do is I just take my Chromebook and I have an extra pad that I use for my mouse, and so on Friday night I'll be watching TV and on the Chromebook and sort of trying to get things that I don't have a chance to do during the week. Like last night I was watching this Excel video, which was really good. They talked about
which one?
There was this CPA, is it CPA org or something like that? It's they give out there's like free webinars. They're basically kind of promos. But this one guy, it was really good Excel. It was like Excel University.
Yeah.
Is that Steve Dotto?
No, it's some other guy. It's on CPA. Is it CPA Academy, I think?
CPA Academy.
Yeah, I've got a couple things that I want to watch.
Yeah, that Excel one was really good because they talked about the subtotal function as opposed to the sum function, using that instead of the sum function. And then the table function, which allows you to do a lot more things than just a range. And then they had it was quite good. I mean, I would recommend just go to Excel Academy, look for that on Google. They've got some free videos and.
Nice.
So it's kind of like the type of things that you need to be doing, but it's hard to find the time. My philosophy is you don't find time, you make time.
Right.
I watched one. Sorry, go ahead.
That's what I use my tablet for. And then if anything is on YouTube, I can actually send it to my TV and watch it on my TV.
Ah, smart TV.
What I do is there's a thing called WM Capture where I can record webinars, and then I will upload them to like my Google Drive, and then I can access them either on my Chromebook or on my phone or my tablet, I can watch videos that I've recorded.
I can watch the QB Power Hour on my tablet
Yeah.
with their little app. But again, I'm wondering why I need everything. Well, no, I guess it's good to have it if I need it on my phone. But I do not go on the internet on my phone. I just cannot see with that little tiny screen.
I mean, I have a nice phone. It's got a nice little screen. But like my daughter, she has several devices, but one of them is her iPod. And she'll look stuff in there, you know, when she asked me if she could look something up. And I'm like, how in the world can you see that? You know, it's like, I don't know how people could even work off their phones. So,
I am convinced that developers have X-ray eyes.
they're probably a lot younger than me, that's for sure.
Well, there's that too. But the whole making everything pale and not being able to see things, who said that was a good idea? Who said that they liked it?
The light gray on white.
Yeah.
You know, I use my phone for internet, and the only reason I do is because I have had the same cell phone company for 18 years, and I'm grandfathered into unlimited data, which they don't have anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to use as much as you can.
So I usually get a text message from the company saying, honey, you're about to hit 5 gigabytes. You have to slow down.
I did that on vacation, but I share it with my husband. There's 2 of us.
No, I'm like, no, because I can stream videos. And if my Wi-Fi is acting up, I just shut it off. And I use the data from my cell phone because it's unlimited, and I'm paying for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I might as well use it. But apparently AT&T is capping people at 5 gigs.
Wow.
And they slow you down. And the FTC is warning them not to do that.
Right.
Of course.
So, but my daughter has an iPhone, and she has hers phone is grandfathered into the program as well. So she uses her data like nobody's business. And then we have unlimited texting. And I made the mistake of trying to look at my bill today, and the damn thing was 56 pages.
Oh.
And I sent her a message, and I said, Chanel, your section of the phone bill started at page 4 and ended at page 34.
Wow. You should get that paperless.
I do, but I had to look at it today on PDF. And I didn't want to flip through. I was like, let me just print it. And then I looked and I realized it was 56 pages.
Oh.
And I said, no.
No way. No way.
Speaking of paperless, are any of you paperless?
No.
No, not completely.
Payables and receivables, yes. Deposits and disbursements, and major things like payroll returns and things like that. But if the place were to completely burn down,
I'm going more and more that way. But some bills and some statements just don't come in an easy way to put into my file system. You know, if the bill would come, if the bill would come like an invoice format, I could just, save it to my files. But no, it has to come in as an email, and then you have to click a link to get it open. So it just becomes, I don't want to do this right now, and then it's harder to maintain for me that way. Just send me the bill. Don't give me a link to click. And that's the same for bank statements, too. Although, I don't know that I would want that just sent to my email either. There has to be a better way. There has to be a better way to get that information.
But you can't have it both ways. You can't have security and then want convenience. And the security is logging in and going through that motion of. Though that's why that one program is it the HubDoc or the other one?
HubDoc,
gets all your stuff for you.
I don't know that there's
that's
enough.
Kind of cool. I think that's, I don't know, because I'm trying, even like with receipts, I have my receipts and stuff, and now I'm trying to think I'm just going to maybe send them through Shoebox. You know,
Right.
I can't. I'm really trying to not use paper for not just because it's the thing to do nowadays, or it's but also too because to save trees and for the environment, even just like plastic.
And I do like the digital files because they're always there and they're in the same place you put them.
Right.
Does anybody use Expensify?
No.
Yes.
Sarah, that was you?
Yes.
Can we talk?
I hooked up with Expensify like right after it hit the market, and it said that it interfaced with QuickBooks, and it really sucked. So I called them, and I said, "This really sucks." But no, it was great. I worked with them for a couple weeks, giving them advice and telling them about Flow.
Yeah.
And they were thinking of the company would work one way, and I'm like, no, not with us. I mean, I'm remote. The manager may be remote. You got the traveling employees, and it all needs to flow into me. I'm the one with the QuickBooks file.
Right.
But they're the client. So
that's what happened to me. I went with them when they first came out, and they said that they synced with QuickBooks and.
Yeah. So they're really slick. I mean, look at them now. It's just incredible what they can do. The only thing that they and I can understand it. It comes in with one vendor name. It doesn't have like a algorithm like the bank feeds where it looks at payables and then says, "Oh, I found that. Oh, I didn't find them." And then you go through what do you do with the name?
Right.
It pretty much we set up every employee with a special vendor name like Susie's Visa or Visa, Susie or whatever, and then it all would come down like that on the date of the with the proper date and the amount and all that, and then with the real vendor name in the memo, so you could search it. But see, I still want to be able 3 years later to go, what did we buy at, where's that printer we got at Best Buy?
Right.
And that's my problem, is the retrieval. I mean, it's all great, and there's all kinds of lovely systems, but, in my files that I create, I know how to go get that. In something like HubDoc, I don't. And I recently had the experience with Bill.com. I mean, you attach all your documents to all your bills, and you can go into any bill, and you can open any document, but I don't know how to get a report and see all documents for a vendor. I just had to do that. Go into each one of the bills and open the document.
You can just visually scroll through them?
I actually needed to make a copy to send out of each one of the invoices. And fortunately, there were only like 9, but that was enough of a chore. I couldn't imagine if there were 25.
Well, I don't know. Well, what program would let you do that?
I would be able to do it in my system.
What's your system?
My system is just using folders.
Yes, folder. So you would click on them all and say print.
Well, that or do the search in the folders to get that.
Yeah, you can search. You can search that stuff.
So, but not in Bill.com. You can't. I looked for that report and could not find it. Maybe it is there. Maybe I just didn't look in the right spot.
I'm setting up my first Bill.com next week, so that's a good thing for me to ask. I'm finally jumping in. But Expensify, I'm gonna just finish up with a little Expensify. Expensify solved the problem for some clients with the authorization. So I work with large nonprofits, and there's a treasurer, an executive director, and a manager, and so it solved creating the expense report. So I have a PDF of everyone's expense report, and I've documented everybody's approval. They had the chart of accounts right there. They're supposed to know their budget codes. I mean, then what we found for processing, though, once it got to us, and I didn't like the way it imported, per se, then we started downloading from just the credit card company and using the PDF to finish it, to code it. But we're still touching it too many times. So we've come full circle, and everybody has their own way of creating the expense reports. Expensify is great for that, but we use Smartsheets, or the what's the feature in QuickBooks where you can do the batch?
Yeah, batch entry.
Batch entry. So, and I can do one big spreadsheet of all the charges, read the whole thing, get the vendor right, the amount right, my memo
And just
right,
drop it
class
into
code,
QuickBooks.
get it just pretty
Perfect.
click. Instead of this edit.
Right.
So what I'd like to do with Expensify, that's another one on my list, is can Expensify give me a comma delimited file? And
So here's what I'll do so I won't monopolize the time. Let me know when you have time, Sarah.
Okay.
Because I have an architect client. It's only, maybe 2 people right now to use it. But he's traveling, we're talking Canada, Zurich, Switzerland, that sort of thing. So we're trying to track his, expenses with it. So that's mainly the feature, what it is that we're trying to do, and maybe like mileage and stuff. That's about it.
yeah, it does the mileage really cool. So.
Yeah.
And then I had a client, some volunteers, they had submitted their receipts.
Right.
And, where is this? I'll have to find it.
You can take pictures, right? That's what I was thinking.
This
for
lady
the
gave me little pictures of all her receipts, and it recapped it on this cute little report.
Nice.
And I went, "What is that?" And she said, "Oh, I downloaded some little app on my phone, and she made up her little categories." And let me find that email because I don't know where I wrote down. Because I want to go play with it. It was report. Oh, where is it?
Another app to play with.
Another app to play with, but it looked something.
Like it could really work. And
it was so simple, wasn't overkill.
Right.
And it worked. So but in that case, I have all these members and meetings, and all these ladies are, they send in expense reports to get reimbursed a couple times a year, and this one just came in slick as a whistle.
Nice.
So what do you guys? Can I ask? What do you guys use for your receipt?
Say that again.
What do we use for our receipts?
Yeah, how do you store them? Do you
PDFs?
Okay.
I usually, for my clients, they give them to me in a big old box, and I scan them into Neat and organize them for how I need them. Because the thing about it is, I don't know if it's happening to you guys, but up here, receipts don't last but maybe a month or 2 now.
They're getting all black and
they fade, and God forbid you use a highlighter on it.
If I catch a person at Sam's with that, you walk up with your receipt and they've got that highlighter. I'm like, don't you do it! And some of them know what you're talking about. They'll go down the side.
They do that at Costco,
go down the middle.
Too.
They might as well use a black marker.
I know. When I go to my wholesale place in BJ's up here, they have a hole puncher. And I always don't clip my numbers. Why are you going to cut my number out? Why? So now they know. I'm like, don't clip my numbers.
None of you use Shoeboxed?
So I physically use shoe boxes. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Facial like shoes.
When I say shoe boxes, I don't know if you guys can see them. Let me see if I can turn the camera all the way over there.
Certainly do.
Shoe boxes.
There you go.
Shoe boxes. They're like $1 and change like $1, and then the cover and I messed up my camera. Yeah. They're $1 and change, and I give each one to my client.
I somehow think that Yvette's talking about the program, Misha.
There's a program called Shoebox?
Yes!
Yes, you send out your receipt to them in an envelope, and they scan them and store them for you.
Seth uses it, and Rhonda uses it. Rhonda Bergen using it.
Oh,
That
you
is
physically
funny.
send the envelope?
Physically send them the receipt.
Yeah.
That's what I do. My clients physically send them to me.
And if you want the actual receipts back, they will send them to you as well.
Yeah.
That must be a horrible job.
Snail mail.
No, actually, it's not that bad. It's quite well. I have the
People
big
work there.
desktop scanner, and it runs pretty quick.
Dennis is talking about working at that company and being the person that has to scan all that.
Oh,
That's a good gig. Sitting at a
Dennis-
scan, $15 an hour. That's a good gig.
I would be crazy doing that.
I told you about my bird shit client. The guy gave me box receipts. His parrot got in there and clawed him and shoot him up and crapped on half of them. You know, and so I tried to do a tax return. I thought that was quite amusing. You know,
Oh my goodness! Fired! You're fired.
no, I'm charging pretty good money for that. I mean,
You
I
should.
was wearing
You put your
latex-
health on
I was
the
wearing
line
latex gloves. I probably should have been wearing a mask too. For now that I think about it.
So
actually,
Dennis- so Dennis,
bird feces has it's a chemical
It makes
a
you
gas, and it can affect your lungs.
Uh-oh.
This is expensive. Shoebox, a business plan is $41, so it's $41 a client.
A client?
Well, it says $500 docs a month is $41. 150 docs is $25.
Listen, send me the damn box, and I'll do it for $200 flat rate.
So Dennis, you give him a little what would you call it? Surcharge?
A what charge?
A bird shit suit.
Oh. Well, this guy is kind of he's kind of like a bad magnet. I don't even like being seen with him in public. You know, it's like he's been rear-ended about 3 times. He gave up driving his car, and then he ended up getting hit on his bicycle by a drunk driver a couple of times. So it'd be like standing next to
Stay
me.
home.
Yeah, I don't like being with him in public. It's kind of like a bad look.
It's so
You'd
crazy.
be walking down the street and the piano would drop
It'd
on
be
you.
like sitting next to somebody in a lightning storm who's got golf shoes on and an umbrella, you know. So like,
Wow. That's funny. No, but I need to streamline stuff, especially with me moving to the whole office situation and having staff doing that stuff. Just coming up with a good procedure for how we intake and out in and
Right,
out.
right.
Well,
But
I-
it has
I
to
like-
be easy for the client. That's the number
Yeah.
one thing. Otherwise, they're not going to do it.
I must be a total bitch to my clients.
No, I don't think
Because
so.
I want cover sheet, all the bills in one PDF.
That's great, though, Sarah.
And on a weekly schedule, I want a batch of work. I can't do this. I got a bill, every few hours in some folder somewhere. I don't know. So even with Bill.com, I don't want to mess up my system. I still want to get our work for the week, and then I'm going to put it up on Bill.com because you can pull up the PDF and then bust it off into separate bills.
Right, right.
And
Well,
but
You
then
do
I want-
that too? I do. I love extraction. Isn't that beautiful?
Well, with Bill.com, it just goes and sits in the inbox until you actually enter the bill. So they
Yeah,
can.
but it's got to be looked at before it's even put in. See, with Smart Sheets, they'll say whether, like, somebody will come in and say, post it, but don't pay it yet, or wait for a W-9. I mean, there's always some issue, with bills. It isn't just as simple as just crunching bills. There's always, I don't know. I can have a batch of 20 bills, and there's always going to be 3 questions at least.
Right, right. You see,
That holds up the work, and so.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to if you have a procedure for the exceptions. And leave it just sit there in the inbox until, and then just delete it if you don't need it.
Yeah. So Smart Sheets has still been the best thing for me.
And the other thing that I've done, and this is just recently, is created a Gmail address for each of my clients.
Mm-hmm.
Now that does seem like a lot of work, except that when I want to go work on my clients, there it is, all the work that I need, and, you know, once I open the mail, then I know it's done. It's been opened. So
yeah, that works really well for me. Because, like, I have a couple clients that I get so much email from them and their vendors.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I organize everything. You know, I get it up on Gmail.
In Zoho
So
CRM,
I have a question about that when you're done.
in Zoho CRM, you can have, you know, all your email correspondence in one spot. I mean, like, what you do is you set up a client and have their Gmail address, and so all their stuff would come to, you know, their record, and so you have all record of all their.
well, that's basically the same thing that happens when you give them their own address, and you go into that address, and they've been all week putting stuff in there, and I'm going to do it on Friday. I look at it Friday. I'll see that whole week's worth of stuff right there.
They emailed themselves.
They email. Well, I started that with one client that really has no technical. He hates computers. He hates everything. But he can take a picture of a receipt and send it to me as an email. So every time every time he does whatever he does, snap the picture and it comes to me. And also his deposits, because he could make a deposit anywhere at any time within whatever he's doing that day. So before the check gets deposited, takes a snapshot of it.
But you know what? That just gave me an idea. I have set up clients with their own emails, and then that's the email we use for PayPal and for General, whatever, Georgia Power, or all those, business emails, and then but I know some of the banks will email you the deposit receipt.
That works.
Wells
too.
Fargo will.
So I have a question about the email, Gina.
Go ahead.
So you're creating this email. What if, you know how you check it and most of those emails are either being used or whatever, because it's just a regular Gmail, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's the client's name, if that already exists, what do you do?
Well, I have not run across that yet because I have my own method of doing it. It's the name of the business and then the initials of the owner. And I have not found. Now that I've said this publicly, everybody's going to do it.
Yeah, but it still won't cause it to be used because the name of the company and the initials will vary. So I hate statistics, but statistically you won't be able to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. You know, when I came up with this idea, what I did is I put, the first three, my company's YMS. I did YMS, and then the name of my client of the company.
I was just thinking about that, using ASB and some sort of.
I decided to do this several years ago because it was just too much for me to manage. When you're dealing with restaurants specifically, and I have, restaurants like in San Francisco that they're active every day. I mean, we're talking many, many vendors. And so all those receipts and, the invoices come to me, plus some of them have banquets that I have to keep track of the deposits and so forth. Mm-hmm. It was just overwhelming, and I just, sometimes when I'd have to look for a specific email to look at what was communicated.
Yep, exactly. And if you didn't catch it that day and it went down the line, you lost it.
Yeah, I got this idea, and I sent them an email, and I just first created the email address, and then I told them, from now on, please send me all correspondence, all emails to this address, and I did it with all my clients little by little. Mm-hmm. So, and the other thing that I like about that is there are particular clients that are very aggressive. They want answers now, and half the time it's nothing major. Mm-hmm. And so I realized if I separate those emails like that, I don't have to look, at it all the time. So
how often do you check every single client?
Well,
it would depend on when you're working on the client.
Within 24 hours.
So if they really want you, they're going to email you on your regular email.
Yeah, well, no, they don't. I tell them I don't use that anymore, and they don't. They haven't since that time I sent them that. They haven't. And it's been.
You can say, I work on you on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
I'll check your emails on Wednesdays.
I don't tell them that. I just.
If they're trying to get in touch with you, how do they know when you're going to see it?
Well, like, for instance, the main problem is that I have clients that sometimes try to contact me at midnight. They try to over the weekend. Over the weekend. I mean, I was at one time at Sunday with my family after church at a brunch. I had a client that was either trying to text me, call me, or email me, and I realized that this stuff has got to stop. And I don't conduct business over the weekend. I just don't. I have a family, and I want quality of life. So
absolutely.
I do have those boundaries, and so it really helped me to work, to realize that, hey, okay, there's say I have a couple particular clients that are all the time they want to all the time be communicating, and you can't do that. You can't work efficiently that way. So that's why I created this system for me, and it has worked. I think I've had it for 3 or 4 years, and it's worked very well.
I was thinking, especially when you're doing Gmail, you click on change your Gmail, and there's everybody in a list, and then you just.
And Sarah, there's these apps now. I have an app on my computers and on my phone that you could separate your Gmails. It organizes your Gmail accounts for you. So if you want to see who's emailing you at a certain time, it sends you notifications, or you could turn it off.
Nice.
Because I know on my iPad, and I'm in the Gmail app, everybody's little pictures down the left side.
Yeah, but there's something even better than that.
And then I had to turn off the notification little number thing because I'm so OCD. If it had a number, I had to get rid of the number. So,
do you know if you can embed pictures in Gmail yet?
Embed pictures?
Embed, like a Snagit.
Yeah,
like
I haven't tried.
Yeah, see, I don't like doing business on my iPad or all that. I'd rather wait for Outlook because I have different signatures on my logo and,
Right.
And I
But you
can't,
can actually,
please excuse typos. I'm on my iPad.
Oh, I put a little message on my phones, on my tablet. If I'm sending from there, I say it has my abbreviated signature, like it would in my email.
One signature?
I never tried. I just have one.
Mine just says something. I mean, I could
signature, right?
But well, so okay. Well, that's interesting. I want to play with it. Do you know you're on a Mac though? But what the program? You know what? It was somebody on ABBO that mentioned the. Now I can't figure out how I did it, but it works great. Because I don't go anywhere. I don't have my cell phone with me all the time. It's usually buried in my purse after church, and the battery's dead. So people will text me. And I have no clue till next Sunday when I go to Mass. So it's an app that sends me every single phone call I get a email.
Readable text and readable voicemail.
And I get an email and it has a whole text right there. It's been the coolest thing.
Oh, I know what the app is.
I use a thing called Umail. It's used a lot by realtors. I got it from a client of mine. I saw he was using it. And it does transcriptions, although sometimes the transcriptions would be a little bit. I tried the time that we were talking about an escort, and it translated as an escort service.
Yes.
Let's talk about your escort service.
Yeah.
See, I'm afraid of those text to voice or voice to text messages. Because I'm from the Caribbean, and if I'm tired or whatever, you'll hear my accent, so I pronounce words differently most of the time than Americans do. So sometimes I'll say something, and it just does not sound right at all.
You can get a general idea. I mean, you can pay for a human to do it, but I'm reluctant to do that, especially with
Get that
if they're
far.
talking about social numbers or that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Because sometimes we'll have them, leave a social number on a voicemail.
Well,
But I like
yeah.
I like it quite a bit. I mean, because that way I can play it on my phone, I can play it on my computer,
Mhm.
I can copy it as a MP3 file and save it to my G drive or any other place I want to save it. So I've got a permanent record of the voicemail.
I don't know. I like my office phone. If I'm not physically here to answer the phone, I have an app on the computer and I have my mobile apps that I can turn on and it'll tell me, if I have a voicemail, I can listen to it. It's no big deal. I'd rather listen to somebody than to have to stop and read because you can't text and drive in Massachusetts anyway. So I wouldn't be able to read it. So listening to it would make more sense.
Yeah, I never answer my phone when I'm driving, unless
Yeah.
although I've got a Pebble watch, so if I can see if my daughter's calling me, I'll answer. But that's about the only time I'll answer is because with my Pebble phone, I can see who's calling me most times.
Yeah. I like that Bluetooth stuff they have in the car now. I just sync my phone to it. It rings and I push the button. And if I'm screening my calls,
Right.
I'll answer it and then it just plays through the speakers.
Yeah, I don't answer 800 numbers for sure.
Huh?
I don't answer 800 numbers. They're usually numbers out of my area code.
Yeah, if
Right.
there isn't a name attached to the number, I generally don't answer it.
Right.
Well, I just recently, I was poking around, looking at apps probably, and a part of the Google Voice.
Mm-hmm.
And when I put my cell phone number in there, now I get an email with it transcribing the voicemail.
Right.
So
Yeah, Google
now I
Voice
have
does that.
two. One's the texting. I'll get an email with text and a record of how long I was on the phone even.
Yep.
Now I have the voicemail. So
Yeah, and the thing about Google Voice, you can record your calls.
Yeah, you can.
ooh.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I've had a couple that I didn't know how I turned it on, and it started recording.
Isn't that illegal in some states?
I shut it off. I'm like, oh no.
With like Evernote, you could have your cell phone on and turn on your Evernote recorder and have it in your pocket. You probably. I always assume when I'm talking to you that.
Yeah.
I always assume that I'm being. Everybody's carrying a gun and everybody's carrying a camera and everybody's carrying a recorder.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I behave in public. I don't. Because you don't
There is
end up on mute.
nothing that you can't do. I mean, no matter what you do, things will come back to haunt you like nobody's business.
Yeah, you don't
So
end
you
up on
just
YouTube.
behave, period.
Well, look at that guy that killed that lion. I mean, he's had his whole business destroyed
lost-
practically.
Well, as he should.
But I mean,
Sorry.
just
He was
an idea
legal.
that
Except for the way
No,
he
he
was
wasn't.
there, but basically hunting and these
No, he
big game
wasn't.
hunters, it's
I
not.
don't believe that they didn't know what they were doing.
They knew what they were
Oh, I
doing.
agree.
Why would you lure an animal out of a?
Yeah,
I
the
agree
way
with
that
that.
they did it.
I'm
yeah.
talking about normally, it was, well, now with all the hoopla, but it was legal to do it if they were doing it in the right area. So
And if they
Yeah.
did it the
I'm
right
just- I'm
way,
just
I
talk-
mean,
that's
I'm just talking about how easy it is to have your whole business destroyed with one mistake that 10 years
Goes
ago
across
would
the
never seen the
world,
light of
right.
day.
right,
It's like
right, exactly. Now
we
he
had
can't
one of
even
my
step on his own.
clients. It blew up, ended up on CNN and all this stuff. My little bitty client, So
That's today.
somebody with their child in a wheelchair, and I had a minimum wage clerk. And it was a long story, but instead of saying, can you put your boss on the phone, or can you put, let me talk to a manager, they just left, went back to North Carolina, got on the TV about how this place wouldn't let their daughter in with the oh gosh, and so one little employee who was an idiot about destroyed the whole company.
Right.
It went and
amazing.
in the comments they were vicious.
Yeah, sadly.
That was scary. died down and something else got popular on the internet, so pretty much went away.
Become like a middle school, you know.
But whoa, I couldn't believe how fast that went.
Yeah, how fast it goes. So Sunny says she likes Gmail, the way they integrate with many apps. Okay, maybe because sometimes people do not realize the time. Okay, that I guess she was speaking about interrupting you. Dwayne says eVoice will do voice to text, and Sunny likes Bing Translator. I don't think that would help you though, Misha.
Bing Translator?
Yeah.
Actually, I'll tell you a quick story, because I know it's almost past time, but I met with a client whose parents spoke Portuguese, and I was trying to explain to them, and they couldn't, so I downloaded the app on my phone. I put in what I wanted to say, and I hit it, and it spoke, and I was able to still communicate with them that way.
Cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is totally
So I have
awesome.
I have the translator app. Actually, no, it's Google Translator app. It's the Google one. And all I do, you open it and you literally type in what you want to say in English, and then do it. And then the lady comes on and she's speaking Portuguese and she sounds so sweet. And I'm like, ooh, what are you saying? I was telling them, honey, you're going to be paying out the yin-yang for all this accounting stuff. But it sounded so pretty. It did. She was just so suave and sweet. Like, yeah, I'm going to keep this sucker on my phone.
Funny.
Nice.
Well, here in Seattle on this one radio station, you've heard these artificial voices like on the tax accountants, that kind of thing, the computer. They've called Textimony, where the readers will write in these rants, and then you have this voice come on in just a pure monotone, calling everybody idiots and that kind of stuff. It's hilarious, I think. It's called Textimony.
That's funny.
That is funny.
Usually, like on the Deflategate, that's pretty popular.
You know what? Don't even talk about that foolishness. There are people starving in Africa, and they are worried about a damn football without ears. Come on.
Yeah. I think it's hilarious myself. But,
every time I see it, I'm like, these people need to really shit down and shut up.
Big business. That's $1 billion worth of business. So
Absolutely.
That is crazy. See, this is why I wait until the Olympics and I watch sports. That's why.
I see Boston did want the Olympics.
Yeah.
Boston is kind of special. Massachusetts in general is kind of special. I mean, like,
you're special.
I'm just saying.
I just sold a program. Hey.
You just what?
Congratulations.
Sold a program. Eric has some sort of thing on his computer that when he makes a sale,
it goes cha-ching.
Yeah, I've seen other people that did that. Yeah. I think you have to have it on your website, and when something happens on your website, that's your notification.
Yeah, so you can download it.
Right.
I have a client who does who has it on her phone, and every time she makes a sale on eBay, it rings and it goes cha-ching, cha-ching.
Well, I get a notification with an email. I wish an email from a certain place would do something.
Well, check out those notifications. You may be able to change it from email to sound.
The guy that just bought this, I've been going around and around with him for 3 days because he has QBO, which won't work with my program, and then he has a Mac, and the Mac won't work with TVX either. And so he kept coming back, and finally he's like, well, can I take a Mac and convert it to DOS, and then, and then I'm like, well, hold on. And then QBO, I said, I do have a CPA who every year, now in the old days with QBO, last year? You had to tell QBO you were leaving them in order to get the file, and then she would take the file, convert it to DOS, and then do her work, but the client just never left QBO. Is it still that way?
I really don't know.
How to get that backup file? But anyway, I told him that last night. I said, I do have somebody that does that. And so then I got a call this morning, and it was still not working. And I said that same CPA, this was right before Sleater 2 years ago, called and it wouldn't work and it wouldn't work. And I wasted 20 hours with my programmer trying to figure it out because I thought it was us. And it still's broken. When they convert QBO to QB Desktop, it doesn't bring in the company name. The company name field.
Oh, that's right. You have to fill that in.
You have to fill it in. And so my little utility loses its little brain for some reason. I don't know what it has to do with the trial balance, but
it can't. It doesn't bring in the address either, Sarah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yes, because I moved the company from QBO to QB Desktop, and it was specifically so we could use it with, well, it was for, we now use Avatax, Avalara, and it wouldn't, it kept saying that the addresses weren't good, the people we were delivering the product to.
Now that I can understand.
Because there was no company name and there was no company address.
With no zip code.
And the guy looked, he had to go through the back end and look, and he said, you know you don't have a company name or address in there? And I'm going like, oh my God.
But my error message is something stupid like column with name or column with name only something. So I'm thinking it's the chart of accounts. I'm working on a trial, but anyway. But he just bought it. He's happy. Finally, I tell you what, I earned that $100. Matter of fact, I lost my shirt on that $100.
$5 an hour.
Gina, I have two things. One, it was a question about funding gates and accepting payments through funding gates, and we can table that for next week. But the other thing, I completely just lost my mind, and now I can't remember what it is.
Well, I'm hungry, gals.
Yeah,
guys,
we're on OT right now, so we're going to end the show for today. And next week, Linda is going to be presenting. I will be on the road. So,
well, you have safe travels.
Thank you. Going to visit family, so I'm looking forward to it.
Where's family?
Virginia.
Well, it's a pretty good drive.
It's a drive, yes. It's too short for a plane ride, but a long drive.
Yeah, about 6 hours.
Maybe 5.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like driving. I don't care how long it is, because then I don't have to freak out over what fits in under 50 pounds and. I just use my car like a purse. You know, you just.
Have you seen those? Have you seen those websites like Bad Travelers? People do on planes. There's one Facebook on people like taking their shoes off and all this kind of stuff.
I'm sure I'll get that experience on my way to sleep.
That's a good no-brainer thing to do after a long week, and you just want to just look at stupid stuff. Yeah. It's important.
All righty, guys. We're gonna go. So have a great weekend, and I will see you the week after next. Next week you're with Linda.
All right.
Bye, everybody.